Justin here with the Atlanta Brick Co. And I've dug hundreds of thousands of bricks deep under the Atlanta Brick Co. to find the next set I'm going to review. I've tapped into some kind of underground cave system. It's so dark and so echoey in here. Here, let me see if I can get somebody on the walkie-talkie. Hello? Hello? Come in, over. Anyone there? Over. Bad signal. The thing is, I keep hearing noises. Like, not bats, not slugs or stalactites or stalagmites or whatever sound those might make. What was that? There's one over there. Yeah, I found him. That's right. I've got the power, and I've got the miners. These kind of miners, not young people. That's weird. That's right, we're talking about power miners, lasting from 2009 to 2010, including 3 waves. Kind of. The first sets were released in January in 2009, and this one little special guy was released later in the summer, but was also available way out to the end of power miners, which the other sets cannot claim that distinction. Picture this. Brave geologist burrowing down into the depths of the earth, only to find the Sulfurix, little rock monsters that got totally jacked whenever they ate a power crystal. The very same crystals the power miners used to power their vehicles. These adorable and nasty little creatures were a combination of living stone and geolithic crystals. They came in a variety of colors. The power miners needed vehicles to combat these dastardly little creatures, and these vehicles sported a bright lime green and orange color scheme. Many people compare power miners to rock raiders, and a lot of people admit power miners is kind of the spiritual successor to rock raiders. A key difference to the sets, however, other than the obvious updates, were that the power miner sets focused more on technical function, things spinning, things moving, drills turning, all sorts of cool stuff, and therefore relied heavily on Technic lift arms and axles and stuff like that. The rock raiders didn't really do that, and they had a completely weird and their own kind of out there color scheme. One day I'll cover rock raiders because rock raiders are awesome. While power miners came out January 2009, in the summer of that same year, LEGO said, you know what? We got another surprise for you. We've got the big baddie of the line. Come on, power miners, you can take these little Sulfurix, but can you take the Crystal King? Hail to the king, baby. That's right. This bad boy came stomping out of the ground and the power miners didn't know what to do. This guy is huge, easily able to pick a figure up and put him comfortably in his mouth. And I wouldn't want to get chopped by those crystal teeth. They're probably hard, sharp, pointy, and don't feel good all around. According to Lego.com, the bio for the Crystal King is that he was the king of all the Sulfurix. But in the set, he was described as the king of all rock monsters. The Crystal King was usurped by another big baddie in the 3rd wave called Eruptor. I don't know. Look at the size comparison. I still think Crystal King could take him. In the 3rd wave, it was all about lava. The power miners had delved deep into the Earth's crust and hit some heat waves. Lava spewed out everywhere. The Sulfurix were replaced with the lava monsters. Equally nasty, equally small, and somehow still equally adorable. Aww. But to me, this guy will always be the king. So let's get a close-up look and see what the king of rock monsters looks like, as well as his little pals. Here he is in the flesh, or the rock, the Crystal King. Oh, yeah. And there's some minifigures. I guess we should look at them. Come on, King. Go in the wings. Brickopedia says these guys are called Duke and Rex. That was not on Bricklink or in the instructions, so they can be whatever you want. We'll say this guy's Duke. He's got the drill vest. All the power miners had different symbols on their vest. Even though he has the dynamite, he has the drill vest. Taking off his hair or just flipping it around. He's got a very worried expression. I love this guy because of his unibrow. He's dirty, he's scarred up, and he needs to tweeze. Duke, or Rex, whoever you want it to be, is outfitted with this giant drill, and it spins for drilling purposes, of course. He has goggles that flip up, and he's got a nice determined expression. There's his one giant lever. It only needs 2 modes, on and off. Destroy and rest. Spin and not spin. He's got some flashlight details, same pants for both of them, chain, dirt, and grime. He did not come with hair, but let's look at the rest of his. There's a crack. I'm gonna replace that. Can't have no crack in my set. And look at this very interesting. By the power of Grayskull. Look at this thing. That is a wacky piece. There it is all by its lonesome. Crazy. What a useful piece. Wish they would come back out with this. So this appeared in Power Miners, and I didn't look up. I don't know what else. Tell me in the comments, how long was this piece around? Or was this one of those weird one-off things that never appeared again? Alright, we've got to replace that torso. We can't have any cracks in our minifigures. Crack is whack, yo. Here we go. Back to the minifig graveyard. Try to find some Power Miner torsos. Where would they be? Oh, there they are. Rock Raiders, Power Miners. Surely, surely, there's the Boom Boom explosive torso somewhere in here. I must search. Ha! I found a replacement. So no cracks. No cracks. He is pristine. There's the back of his head, his alternate face. I love the worried expression. Ah! So everyone in the Power Miners had their job printed on their torso. So his torso is different. There are about 3 or 4 different torsos in Power Miners. What's strange is that they suggest you give him the dynamite, but he has the bomber jacket. He has the drill jacket, but he has the drill. I don't get it. Maybe they're switching for the day. And here we have the king. Okay, that's the last time I'll do that. Probably not, but you can see he's got the big, heavy ball joints for maximum articulation. And those awesome slopes. These were specific to this set. He came with 3 of them, and it was the only way to get them. They never came out in this color again. Of course, we know they keep making these in various iterations and color combinations, but this, the bright trans neon green, only came with him, and he has 3 of them. Of course, his head, I don't need to tell you, is very unique to him. Very cool. It has 3 modes. It has close, has open, and it has all the way open. So it clicks into those positions, and he can easily eat somebody. Oh. Of course, he only wants to eat crystals, right? There's no danger of him eating anyone unless it's in self-defense. And they do actually show him on the package grabbing people, so you can mess with it, but he can hold on to dudes. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Turning him around, he's pretty complete. He's got these cool spikes. They weren't super easy to get. They came in some Star Wars sets and a few other things around that time. He got 3 of them in that color anyway. He has big old stompers. Sideways construction for those. Inverted slopes to get that pattern, that shape there, but around the back is where he falls apart a little bit because he's just very anti-steady and anti-platey on the back. But hey, this is 2009. What'd you expect? I love how they got these angles for these. Very, very cool. Now, when I was refurbishing him, when I was inventorying this set, the drill was not included at all. I had to build that from pieces we had. Luckily, we had everything. And this guy was missing a few of these. Now here's the thing with those though. They came in a variety of versions. There we have 3 right there. Now which one doesn't belong? This is 2009, so it's past 2005. Get that middle guy out of here. However, these 2 are still the wrong piece, because if you flip them around, they look like that. And what is this guy supposed to have? Well, let's just see. It's open. It's completely open. See the difference? So here at the Land of Brick Co., you have to be aware. You have to be very detail-oriented. So when you're refurbishing these sets, when you're inventorying them, you have to be aware. Now, Bricklink does make distinctions. They call this without tube inside or something along those lines. I was able to find it. Luckily, we had the 2 he was missing, and he's ready to go. Ready to find a new home. Do you want this guy on your shelf? I would love to have this guy on my shelf. We also have the instruction book for this guy. It's a little bent, but it's in pretty good condition. There's your heroes, Rex and Duke, or Duke and Rex. There's construction, you've got more advertisements, Bionicle. And look at all the sets. They're awesome. You have the checklist of monsters. I love that. They tell you which set they come in. And look, these aren't big sets. These aren't super expensive big sets. Looks like blue and red come in the more expensive ones. We have Thermarox and Geolix. I like the x sound. That was very important. Look at that spread. Very nice. And there's the Crystal King coming off the computer screen. Look at him. What's going to happen? That dynamite is lit. That's a game of chicken right there. All right. We've looked at the set. We've talked about the theme. But I have one more surprise, treat, indulgence in store for you. Under this box is my very own MOC custom Crystal King. Now, to give you a little bit of history, I was going through inventorying a set or something, and I saw this head and jaw piece in our Power Miners graveyard, and we had several of them. Not the rest of the body, but we had several of the head and jaw, and I was like, that's really cool. I like monsters. I like making my own thing. I'm gonna try to make my own. About halfway through the process, I looked up what the original Crystal King looked like, and mine just happened to be about the same size, though very different in body shape. So I kept working on it at home, buying pieces from here whenever I could find any. And then this guy came strolling in on a haul one day. Purely coincidence, never seen him before in my life, and he comes just strolling in. Hi, I'm the Crystal King, where do I go? And so I'm gonna show you my Crystal King versus the original. But you know, I want to get a Lego Master's opinion of my MOC. Now, where am I gonna find a Lego Master? You think, like, winners of Lego Masters just kind of walk around? No. How am I going to find one?
Hey, Justin, you know what time it is?
Lunchtime? Oh, while you're here, do you mind helping me with something real quick?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Wow, can you believe it? A Lego Master! Thank you for coming in and destroying my dreams.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I'm kidding. Now, you told me you really like Power Miners, but you like Rock Raiders even more.
That is correct. Power Miners were a little bit past my primetime kid years of the early 2000s, even like late 90s. That's when the original Rock Raiders came out. Mm-hmm. They were the OG. Power Miners is like the spiritual successor to that. It's not actually directly connected. They have the same mold for the crystals, same mold for the helmets, so a lot of things are extremely similar.
I know nostalgically it doesn't hold the same place in your heart, but did you feel objectively this was a good update, or you feel like they went too far in their own direction with the lime greens and all the turning, moving parts?
So I think it's actually a very well done rendition of Rock Raiders, because the original Rock Raiders had some weird colors like teal and yellow and like brown and chrome and other weird colors. So them going for a lime and orange and blue seems pretty much par for the course of the mining people underground. And then I think the one thing that they really improved was the rock monsters, because they only had one mold in the original Rock Raiders. So the power miners had a huge variety of different. And they had the big ones, they had the small ones, they had this guy, the Crystal King. He's huge and awesome. This is a lot more monster action than we got in the first wave of Rock Raiders. So,
yes. Yeah, and he moves.
Exactly. He's very posable. I mean, the original rock monster has one motion with the arm, and that's it. You got to imagine everything else. This is like everything moves. Even his fingers move. So, I mean, there's so much more going on with this. So.
What do you think of this guy?
He's really cool. I think that head is the most really standout piece for me. And then these rubber spikes are fun too. He's a little smaller than I'd imagine from the box. He's still bigger than any other rock monster that you'll see. So I could just see him being a little chunkier maybe, because he seems a little bit like he's easy to move, but he's also a little bit spindly compared to what I would build if I was making a rock monster. But pretty good set, honestly.
He's so trim. He's been going to the gym.
So he plays basketball, probably. I mean,
he always wins, too.
Yeah, I guess he does. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to compare. Get your gut reaction.
Oh, yes. So you made a rock monster, is that right?
So I found the head. And I was just inspired. I was like, oh, that's really cool. My idea was that it's the same guy, but he's gotten older. He's more matured. Yeah. I believe in power miners, they eat crystals that gives them power. So this guy's is eating a lot of crystals.
Okay. He's been hitting the crystal.
So it's the same dude. He's just older, maybe more powerful, or he stopped playing basketball.
He's leveled up, This is teenage years.
That's right. I will say, I expect you to be nice because you're a nice person. But I want you to be honest.
Okay.
Give me some critique. I want to improve. I want to get better.
Gotcha.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Look at that.
This is my dude. I'll let you look at him.
He is so savage looking. That's awesome.
He doesn't stand up great.
Well, he's got the articulation. That's really important. So that's awesome. Wow, okay. Oh yeah, okay.
All right, so.
Wow. So do you want to just describe some of the things you were working on, some of your aspects really quick, and then I'll give you my full thoughts.
I wanted studs all around. I wanted him to be really crystalled up. Like just totally crazy.
Just glowing, right?
Yes. And I saw these and I was like, Crystal King, like a crown. So he's blowed out with all the crystals. They're just everything's growing. And then I saw these Ninjago spinner pieces, and that covers up the joint. The technique I used for the body, you could probably guess what it is. I put the Technic stud pins, the pins with the stud on the other side, and just made a sandwich.
A big,
with it.
Surface.
So any crystal piece I found, I just tried to put it everywhere.
All those
on him.
1x2 slopes, the little diamond 1x1 slopes. You got crystals just like sticking out embedded. That's really cool. Justin, first of all, you've outdone yourself. This is fantastic.
Oh, yay!
This is way better than what I was expecting. And I know you're a competent builder, so this is really good, Justin. One of the first thing I really liked about it is he's got asymmetrical limbs. It's really fun because he's just this gnarly cave creature, and that makes perfect sense. I love how you've used the bionicle eyes, the old bionicle eyes for the crown. I like the thought process behind that. These gray spikes are fun, but he's a crystal king, not a rock king. Then the Ninjago pieces here. And then I also like how you actually formed out his chest with these panels here, these wedge pieces. And so it looks like that's his body, and anatomy makes perfect sense. I love when he's hunched over. That actually reminds me of one of the boss battles in a video game, Horizon Zero Dawn. These gigantic Fireclaw robot bears. And he looks kind of like, almost like a gorilla or bear, kind of hunched over, really beefy. And I really like it. Let me think of any critiques here that I've got for you now here. Just a few more slopes here and there. Studs are good, but I don't use many exposed studs anymore in my stuff, so that would just be like a few more tiles or things here and there. A little polishing up, but man, this is really good.
Okay.
I have very little to say that's negative about this build. This is really fun.
Awesome.
This would be an amazing set. I love the articulated fingers too. Great job, Justin.
Awesome.
I'm very impressed.
Awesome. Yay. A Lego Master's impressed with me. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much then.
If I was picking one of these, I'd want this guy on my team. You know, like if we were playing football or something, he would dominate. That's awesome.
Yeah, basketball, football.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Does the technique have a name, the studs going backwards technique? And I don't see that being used very often.
It's definitely studs not on top, because you got studs going out instead of just upward. So that's the first thing you've got. And then it's just using a lot of snot. That's what I would say. It's a very well executed snot, because you got the torso, both his back and his front are studded, and that's not easy to do because normally you'd have the back is the anti-stud, the opposite of that. And I also like how you have the darker green and the lighter green crystals mixed together. Good complementary color. Those, I mean, they had that color crystal, but they didn't have that color rock monster. So it's interesting.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely,
I
Justin.
appreciate your honest opinion. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Let us know, did you like Power Miners or are you a Rock Raiders guy? Which, it might have completely to do with what era you got into
Yeah,
it.
what you were raised with, because I know a bunch of people who are so nostalgic for these guys, but know nothing about Rock Raiders.
Yeah.
And I always try and correct them, and like, no. So
Rock Raiders was first!
it's basically what you grew up with, I think. Go Power Miners!
Yeah!
Go Power Mine!
That's right. Go dig a hole somewhere.
Exactly.